Alright, welcome back to Tikio Takes, and today we're talking about the most underrated prospects in the entire 2026 NBA Draft. I'm not going to be listing any of the obvious lottery picks. I'm talking about the players NBA fans are sleeping on heavily that can end up massively outperforming where they're drafted. Because every single year, there are players that casual fans ignore that end up becoming winning NBA players. And I think this draft has a ton of those guys. So today, we're talking about my 5 most underrated prospects in the 2026 NBA Draft. Starting off at number 5, I'm going with Tyler Bilodeau out of UCLA. And I feel like this dude is being completely overlooked because he doesn't play the flashy style basketball. And I know what you may be thinking. Hey, didn't you put Alex Karaban in your top 5 most overrated prospects, even though he's similar to Tyler? Yes, but the big difference is that Karaban is projected to go late round 1, while Tyler will be lucky to be even drafted. But if you actually watched UCLA this year, you quickly realize how Bilodeau is the exact type of player NBA teams need. He's a modern stretch big with legitimate size, really good offensive feel, and one of the smoothest jumpers in this draft class. And in today's NBA, spacing from the front court matters so much. Bilodeau can be a pick and pop guy, he can attack slower defenders off the dribble, and make smart reads offensively. He's not just a standstill shooter either, he understands movement, positioning, and how to play within an offense. And what I really like about him is how under control he always looks. And there are going to be playoff teams that love a player like this because he feels like the kind of guy that helps winning immediately. Now defensively, he's probably never going to become some, elite stopper, and his athleticism isn't jaw-dropping, but his offensive versatility absolutely gives him NBA value. So to me, Bilodeau screams long-term rotation forward like a Danilo Gallinari. And at number 4, we have Ryan Conwell out of Louisville, and he might be one of the safest shooters in the entire draft class. Every single year, NBA teams search for players that can immediately provide spacing, shot making, and offensive confidence off the bench. And that's exactly what Ryan Conwell can provide. This guy can flat out shoot the basketball. He can do catch shoot threes, movement shooting, transition pull-ups. He's comfortable taking difficult shots and honestly plays the level of confidence you want from shooters. What makes Conwell underrated is that people think he's only a shooter. He's actually a more complete offensive player than people realize. He can attack closeouts, create secondary offense, make decent reads as a passer, and score at multiple levels when defenders overplay the jumper. And in today's NBA, once defenses fear you shooting, everything else opens up. Now defensively, there are some limitations. He's probably never becoming an elite perimeter defender like Bilodeau, but honestly, teams will live with that if the shooting translates, because elite shooting always finds a place in the NBA, and I see this guy becoming the next Lou Williams for sure. And at number 3, I'm gonna go with Henri Veesaar from North Carolina. And I genuinely do not understand why more people aren't talking about him. Because in today's NBA, skilled big men that can stretch the floor are insanely valuable. And Veesaar absolutely fits that mold. He's got legit size, soft touch, good feel for the game, and flashes real versatility as a modern center. He can knock down shots from outside, make smart decisions offensively, and play within the flow of an offense instead of just clogging the paint. And that archetype is incredibly valuable in today's NBA. And honestly, I think his mobility is quite underrated too. He moves better than people expect for his size and competes hard defensively. He's not like as good as Adai Mara, who is a lottery pick in this draft, and he's not a dominant athlete, and there are definitely some questions about physicality against stronger NBA centers, but his offensive skill level makes him extremely interesting. He's the type of player that smart organizations love developing, and honestly wouldn't be shocked if a team like Miami, OKC, or Denver takes him and completely unlocks his game in the second round. Because once NBA spacing surrounds a player like Veesaar, his skill set becomes even more dangerous. And coming in at number 2, I have Trevon Brazilie out of Arkansas. And the upside of Brazilie is ridiculous. At his best, he looks exactly like a modern NBA power forward teams dream about. He's athletic, long, mobile, can protect the rim, defend multiple positions, and stretch the floor offensively. And that archetype is gold in today's NBA. He also has good weak side shot blocking, the transition athleticism, and solid lob finishing. The defensive versatility is what I really like about him. The issue has always been consistency and health for him. There are games where he completely takes over with his athleticism and defensive activity, but then there are games where he disappears. But if you're drafting in the late first round or early second round, this is the exact kind of player you should gamble on, because the upside is still starting caliber NBA forward. And in the right system, I honestly think Brazilie could become one of the biggest steals in the draft. And finally, the most underrated prospect in the entire 2026 NBA draft, in my opinion, is Zuby Ejiofor from St. John's. And I love this dude's game because every single year, NBA fans get obsessed with potential and upside while completely ignoring players that just know how to impact winning immediately. and that's Zuby Ejiofor. This dude is grown man physically, he rebounds hard, he plays through contact, he sets strong screens, he defends with effort, and he finishes around the rim with consistency. And most importantly, he improved his three-point shot tremendously this year. Coaches love players like this. He feels like one of those players that winning organizations are going to value way more than casual fans do. Because when playoff basketball starts, toughness matters, and Zuby brings all of that. Now offensively, he's probably never going to become some elite shot creator or offensive superstar, but not every player needs to be. The NBA still needs high-level role players that embrace dirty work, and Zuby feels like that kind of player that could stick around for the NBA for like 10 plus years because he understands his role and impacts winning without needing the ball constantly. But those are my top 5 most underrated prospects in the 2026 NBA draft, and I think I should throw an honorable mention out there for Ebuka Okorie, who's probably going to go in the early second round or late first round, best case scenario, but he is one of the best scorers flat out in the entire draft. The reason he's not high up in the big boards because he's kind of small for a guard, but he is super skilled. When I was watching, I'm like, he kind of reminds me of Kyrie because he's a 3-level scorer. He can break down his defender. He's not gonna be as good as Kyrie, but he has the same kind of skill set. So look out for Ebuka Okorie. He's definitely a very nice honorable mention for this list. But I figured the other guys were less known than him. And I also want to talk about Baba Miller from Cincinnati. He was one of the best rebounders last year, averaged near 11 rebounds as a power forward, but he can also play the small forward. But he's a versatile forward. He's really long, he's a great defender, and he's been working on his three-point shot, which his offense overall still needs improvement, but he could be kind of like a Jaden McDaniels kind of build. So I think Baba Miller is a great honorable mention. And maybe also Meleek Thomas from Arkansas, teammate of Darius Acuff. He was another very good scoring guard on that team. One of the best pure scorers, can drive, shoot. So Ebuka Okorie, Meleek Thomas, and Baba Miller are definitely all players you should be very excited if your team manages to draft them as well. So let me know in the comments, which underrated prospect are you the highest on, and what player do you think is getting slept on the most? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, and stick around for my upcoming mock draft video where I make my selections for picks 1 through 30. That'll come out a day before the draft, so definitely stay tuned for that. And thank you for watching, and God bless you all.